said, I mean, there's no one like me. Trying, deep down, you trying.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome everybody to another episode of the Love of It podcast. Today we have American model Erin Micklow. You may have seen her on YouTube, Instagram, literally everywhere. You might have seen her in Hollywood Circus Kane. You might have seen her on some modeling gigs on a lot of websites. Honestly, if you've been on the internet and the punk rock scene, you have definitely seen her around. So everybody, give it up.
Thank you so much. That was really sweet.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
With all that you do, literally everything that you do, what does a normal day look like to you?
Well, so right now for the last 3 months, I've actually been doing construction. I'm building a second Airbnb in my backyard, and it's behind. So a normal day for me lately has been really stressful. Like today, there were definitely tears shed over this project today. I see my workers outside and I told them, I was like, I have a meeting for an hour. I'll be with you guys after that. And it's just like, lately it's like taking the last of my free time. So today, a normal day was, I got up, charged my batteries for this so I would have nice lighting. I make my tea, and then I rushed off to get my car serviced today because tomorrow I'm driving down to Rosarito, Mexico to source the supplies for this build. I wanted to have some nice tiles, and on one of my trips over the summer I saw this tile store there and I was like, oh my God, this is perfect because this Airbnb I'm building is going to be dope as fuck. Like I want it to be really Instagrammable. I want it to be just like a whole vibe, like an experience. And so amongst that, I'm there, making sure my car is good. So no breakdowns happen. And then like my workers are calling me and they're like, the roofer's there. And I'm like, I'll be home in 20 minutes. And so I meet the roofer and then it's a whole ass mess. And then, work out, get hair and makeup ready for this. Here I am with you. I'll meet with them after, then I'll shoot some new content after because I'm hair makeup ready.
Right.
Check some emails. It's every day for me is I never have enough hours in the day. And it's hard because it's like taking care of my own mental well-being as well is super important. So it's like, oh my God, trying to give myself these rests when I need them. But, it's like,
Yeah, you definitely have your hands on many different projects at one time. Like, how do you know when it's time to, all right, now we're going to focus on this and now we're going to focus on that? Like, what dictates that for you?
Like I just got back from 3 weeks in Colombia and that was something I did for myself of like, and honestly, it wasn't a good time to go because this new build that I'm doing was so behind. But I had 2 girls come out and they kind of house sat for me and had a vacation and ran my Airbnb in exchange for accommodations. And how I met them was one of them was one of my Airbnb guests. Oh, wow. And so it's like, everything kind of is by priority of like, what is the most urgent? Like I definitely lately in the last like 6 months have been getting really bad about getting back to emails and messages. And I do my best to like chip away at them whenever I have a moment because I feel like such an asshole when I don't get back to people. But it really is just like prioritizing of what has like the fucking flashing like red light right now that needs my absolute attention. Okay, that gets everything paused. That gets my attention. And it's daily of prioritizing of like, fuck.
But, even though the way you talk about it seems draining, I can tell that you like it because you've been smiling through the whole time just talking about how much work you have to do. Is it something that you feel like you can do for a long time?
I'm a workaholic, and I said this to a lot of people I met on my travels because in the last 6 months, I've done 2 solo travel trips where it's been me, a backpack, full glam still. That will not waver because that's just who I am. That's just who I am. But I'll meet these people and they've quit their jobs because they're traveling for extended periods to find themselves. And for me, I'm like, I asked them like, when are you going home? Like, what are you going to do? And they're like, I don't know. I'm not ready yet. And for me, having these conversations with them, I'm like, I absolutely love what I do. And I love going to work because I'm living my passions and my dreams and the things that I want to be doing. So, yeah. I mean, I would be most happy if I had one full day off a week. Sunday is my favorite day of the week. I would be very happy with that. And if I kind of had like a few hours in the evening, because how it's been the last several months is working 7 days a week from the time I get up till the time I go to bed. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy. And I don't glorify that at all. I don't recommend it for anybody. You have to find like, where is your time? And for me, I would feel happiest one full day off a week. I could party Saturday night, go out and get lit Saturday night. Sunday, we are off. We're going to the Korean spa. We're doing nothing. We're going for a hike, just not working.
It's a fake little Sabbath day. Did you so?
I think because I grew up religious. I'm definitely don't consider myself religious anymore. I'm more spiritual, but I did grow up Catholic. And I remember Sundays was always, we went to church and I fucking hated it. And I would always be like, Mom, do we have to? And then we would go do something fun afterwards.
Okay. No, I wouldn't say the same way, but I definitely grew up like religious too. So the whole like 1 day a week thing, like, yo, I have to get, like, even if I'm not in church, I need a day off to just like stay home. Like, don't invite me outside. I don't want to go anywhere. I have to recharge because I have to literally do 14 million things tomorrow. So just let me breathe today. Like I get that.
Of like a day where it's like, I don't feel pressured to have to do anything. Like, I'm a person that very much loves going out. I'm absolutely not a couch potato. Like, that was a former part of my life when I was married. It was really like what my ex-husband liked to do. And I just never really liked it. I very much enjoy go. But for me, a leisurely Sunday would be like, I'm going to take myself to the Korean spa and I'm going to sit in these saunas and I'm going to have a nice lunch. And then maybe that evening, go meet up with a friend for drinks or, something like fun like that. That for me is like an ideal day of like, I want to go do something, but I want to do something leisurely.
Okay. So what would you say is something that you learned about yourself, like trying to balance the work and the resting? Like, what's one takeaway that somebody else is on the same path of, become their own brand, their own platform, sometimes they should, keep in mind?
I mean, it's, for me, my journey's been really listening to myself of like, when I am just completely spread thin and like trying to listen to what I need. Do I need a nap right now? I'm going to go take a 20-minute nap because I'll work more effectively if I'm rested. Do I just need a day off? Like, before I went to Colombia for my vacation last month, it was too much. Like, to work 7 days a week like that, time I wake up till the time I go to bed, it was just, by the end of it, I wasn't even enjoying my work anymore. I wasn't enjoying all these fun things that were happening because I was just burned out. For me personally, at that time, it wasn't an option to just like take a few days off because it was like, I was about to take 3 weeks off. But it's best to just avoid it getting to that point because once you hit burnout, it takes you a lot more time to fucking recover.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Like, there's the difference between like trying to keep yourself stable, but sometimes when you're falling, man, that fall is long. And it's just something I find myself hard to like come out of it. But it's definitely a truth. One thing that I do to stop myself from burning out is literally just stopping. Like, even though it's not like a full day out of the week, maybe a couple hours a day, I'm just like, yo, I'm just not available. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, I have my wellness practices. Like, I'm really in tune with my body. Like, through like 4 years ago, I shifted to a vegan whole foods diet where it's like cutting processed foods, introducing supplements like probiotics, and then just meditation and things like that. So being more in touch with what is it that I need right now, and like, I have a great massage place. I'll run over, they take walk-ins all the time. It's like a cheap little Chinese place. I'll go be like, fuck, I really need a massage right now. Go take an hour, get a massage, walk in, take a nap. Like, sleep is something that I personally never try to skimp on. If I'm working slowly, it's best for me to just sleep a little bit more and then work faster when I'm up.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like everybody knows their pace. And like you're saying, like, listen to yourself. Like, this is just years of you just understanding like who you are as a person. When you were a lot younger, what was the thing that you wanted to do? And maybe not the career, but like, what was that driving thing that kind of you feel like led you to where you are right now?
Well, I've always been creative. Like, for me, outfits was everything, as you can see behind me.
Yes, I can see that.
But like, I mean, like I make a lot of my own clothes. Like I DIY'd this shirt and these pants that I'm wearing. And then, you know, through my work as a model and then internet came into play, it became being an influencer. You know, through that, I've worked with a lot of clothing companies. So I've been very blessed to have these things. And I've also worked as a wardrobe stylist. So from a very young age, I would always put outfits together. I would read the fashion magazines and I would just have these ideas of how I pictured myself wanting to look like. And like in the beginning too, I remember being in like, you know, middle school, early years of high school and like reading Teen Vogue. And I was like, oh my God, I love this outfit. And I would read the notes and then go buy the things. And like, and my friends would be like, you look like you popped out of a magazine. And I was like, I stole this look from a magazine. And then it transitioned into like my own creative juices flowing of what did I want to look like. So I started sewing. I was always around. My grandmother sewed, my mother sewed. They weren't seamstresses. They sewed more as a hobby. And even as a child, my mother would always make my Halloween costumes. We'd go to the fabric store. She'd pick out a pattern and then she would be like, which fabrics do you want? And we would pick them. And so I wanted to sew because it was like I had these ideas in my mind of kind of how I wanted to look, but you know, like to kind of have pieces like that. They were very expensive if you got like designer pieces. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to make them myself. And that was around the time when I was getting into punk rock as well. And you know, punk rock was all about DIY. And it was like at the time too, there weren't really a lot of cute, like girly punk clothes. And to be quite frank with you, there still aren't if you want to like rep your favorite bands, like this t-shirt. They just don't make like little girly designs like that. Like I chopped this one up and made it all sexy and cute. It was having that idea of like me being super feminine, but like wanting to have, you know, those things of like, well, I really like this band and I want to sport their logo.
It's a lot like you want to put yourself into what you like. So it's like, I want to rep your brand. Oh, you guys only market to typical teenage or adult males, but you know, other people listen to your music. It makes sense. Like have merch for everybody, like a universal type thing. Would you say that?
I mean, and even a few years ago, I did do a merch collab with the punk band Rancid, and we did make some cuter girly designs, but unfortunately it didn't really stick because it was more effort to make them. It was, you know, more expensive. They had to sell them for a higher price point, but they did sell out. We did a really small run of them and they did sell out and people seemed to really like them. But I think maybe it was just like so much effort as opposed to like, hey, we're just going to buy a bunch of t-shirts and put our logo on it, which is understandable because when they're doing like a tour and everything and they need like a lot of merch because that's how they're making like a lot of their income, you know, it makes sense. Like it's a lot more effort to do stuff like this.
Yeah. As somebody who's a self-proclaimed workaholic, like you said, do you find it well, how do you find it working with other people, especially when you have a pace and momentum that you're used to and you know other people are different?
But to be perfectly honest, it's very hard for me sometimes. It's very hard. I mean, it's like a different thing. Like, for instance, this glamping build that I'm doing in my backyard, this construction, you know, it's really frustrating because the workers aren't showing up consistently and I'm doing my best to manage and motivate them. But it's like, how do you make somebody work harder? You know, it's like you can be nice to them, you can yell at them, you can cry at them. And it's just like, if somebody's not going to do it, they're not going to fucking do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's where you have to put your business hat on, you know?
Yeah, switching from friends to business.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, especially too, like I mean, you call a thing, like being a young, attractive female, you're fucking automatically discredited and disrespected in especially scenarios like that with like construction. It's like, y'all, I know I'm nice and I was nice to you in the beginning, but this is the boss bitch hat that's coming on and I'm gonna scream around at y'all because I paid you a lot of money and you're not doing what you said you were gonna do. So
yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah. I can only imagine. That's hard. What? How can you not take me seriously? I am your boss, technically. Like, come on.
They don't, you know, and that's the thing of like, it's just it. I mean, you know, it's the thing of like when you're a bit of a minority, like these are the things that we face. I'm sure you've gone through some of them as well. And it's unfortunate that it's like, you know, you'll always have a certain level of discrimination against you. It's like I feel like as a young female, especially with what I do, interviewing bands, it's like it's a man's world, and it's like I have to work fucking twice as hard as everybody else for half the fucking credit. The shit that people say on me on the internet, I don't think they'd be saying that if it was a dude.
No, 100%. It's like once you show up, it's like you're not really there. It's like, it's like your outcasing is there, like you as a girl is there, but they don't see you yet. And it's like I gotta work extra hard so you can see me. That's annoying. Like
I just do it. I do it because I'm confident with my work, but I've seen it time and time again where there'll be the shift with an artist mid-interview, and you can see where I've in the moment when I've earned their respect, which is always a really nice feeling too. And I've earned their respect because I've done my research, I'm prepared, I'm professional. And but you show up and it's like I'm in this fucking plastic skirt with my spiky hair and all this makeup, and they're just thinking, oh Jesus. And then the interview starts, and it's like, it's for me now, since post-divorce, it's a one-woman show. Like I have no assistant anymore, and it's literally just me that does everything. I do the preparation, I do the editing, I line up the interviews, I'm operating all the cameras in a self-shooting way. And like when there's technical difficulties, which has happened a few times mid-interview, it's like I have to be like, so sorry, hold on, let me fix this, and like quick troubleshoot my gear as quickly as possible and thank them for their patience. And it's just like, you got to be good at multitasking.
Yeah, I see that. Have you considered throwing somebody else into that role? It is vacant and you seem to be very booked.
I have, and that's where, again, because for instance, like I'll travel to go interview bands because I just enjoy traveling, and I always accumulate a good amount of Sky Miles. So sometimes I can get hotels with miles.
Okay.
And I've had friends help out, and I'm really, really grateful for their help. But sometimes they get a bit overwhelmed. It's not their show. And for me, I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of know how it works. And I've seen it where assistants have gotten overwhelmed and made technical mistakes because they were nervous. And, it's like, I'm fully relying on them. So it came to a fork in the road where I was like, I'm going to struggle for a bit, but I need to learn how to just be a one-woman show. I'm only relying on myself. If a mistake is made, it's something that I made and I can learn from it. Whereas like if an assistant steps in for a day or whatever, they're not as seasoned with it. They're like, they haven't had as much experience as I have, and they get nervous and they so want to do a good job, and they're helpful and I appreciate their help. But yeah, like there's been some times where it was like stuff wasn't recording, and that was like the assistant's job, of make sure the red lights are on. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, with me, it's a little risky sometimes where I'm like, oh shit, like it's kind of just like, okay, I pushed everything. I've got my monitor. Let's just pray to fuck that everything's recording and like doesn't stop recording mid-interview.
Yeah. Oh man, I could listen. The way that me and Paris split things up, I used to try to do the emails, but then I'm really, really bad with like emails. I was sending the wrong files on the wrong names, on wrong documents, and it's like when I found my lane, like I was really good with it.
Yeah, I think that I was meant to be a solopreneur. That's what I am, and I just think that it's where I fit best because I'm organized enough that I'm able to multitask and handle many different things. And one big thing in the last like couple years since my divorce that I've been getting better at and actively working on is learning where to say no, of like, I'm not capable of this. My plate is too full right now. Because if I commit to something, I'm fully showing up to it. You're not going to get a half-ass job from me. It's either going to be a yes or a no. And if it's a yes, I'm fully there. I'm all in. And if it's a no, it's like, I'm so sorry. I just can't commit to this at this time and give you, what you deserve.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like you said, back to what you said, yourself. I feel that's really important. I'm just gonna switch. I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit. All right.
Okay.
There's something that you could nerd out about. Like this is like anything you want to nerd out about. This is like your space to do it. Something you're really interested in, passionate in, something you know really much about that you think is like a niche kind of subject, or something that's really broad and like general that you think everybody will know.
I think it's just like kind of the umbrella of what I do, of just like, DIYing the clothes, and it's just getting really good at the things that you like love, like I'm like in the last couple of years, I've really gotten into like a lot of wellness podcasts, a lot of dating podcasts. That's something that I don't do professionally, but is like definitely kind of something that I enjoy like in my alone time. Like before, you know, one podcast I've really been liking lately, because I'm single and I'm dating, and some of my dating experiences have been flaming fucking dumpster fires. But you know, just like, so there's a podcast, this dating coach called Matthew Hussey, and you know, I was listening to his podcast, and he just talks about, it's like setting your standards and knowing when to walk away when something isn't working, as opposed to trying so hard to keep somebody when it's not working. So like one of them recently, that I can share this one because it's already all over the internet. Fuck it.
Done.
There was this DJ that I dated. I met him over the summer on my travels, and he turned out to be a total narcissist. Unfortunately, you know, having been with narcissists before, it is difficult patterns to break, to not allow new narcissists into your world, but it's something I'm actively working on. I take responsibility for that. And, you know, I've gotten a lot of closure in the last week, because his ex-girlfriend that lived with him and dated him much longer and was hospitalized by this person, messaged me because she saw my post about it, about what happened. It was very validating of this girl reaching out to me and her and I connecting, you know, because she was like, you're really lucky. I'm proud of you, because I stayed a lot longer and I had it a lot worse. Like, that guy literally fucking hospitalized her because he fed her drugs unknowingly. He like drugged her drink. And this is a very dangerous fucking person. And actually, after my post, no, I don't put everybody on blast. Like, you really have to earn it for me to put you on blast on my platform. Another person reached out to me who was a male and was like, I work in the same town that this person does, and he does this to women all the time. Good for you for putting this out there, because he's a dangerous person for women. And because of what I had already been through my divorce, it's going to take a lot more for somebody to really hurt me like that, because I'm somewhat the wiser post-divorce, but I'm still learning and I'm still growing, and I'm working on myself in a continual way and taking accountability for my actions as well, of not putting it all fully on another person, because I participated. Somebody can't continue to hurt you if you don't allow it.
I know that you meditate just by the way that you talk. It sounds like, you know how like when your brain is talking to the inside voice, you have the speech pattern of the inside voice.
Maybe it's because being a solopreneur, and like, I don't work with other people that often. Obviously on occasion I do, but I feel like it's me and myself having these meetings all the time.
I can tell you're very efficient at it. I'm here, then my other team's there, and we're having a great conversation. And we're very impartial to our sides, but hey, we're here. I feel like I'm the same way.
I have a really great, amazing best friend. He's a dude, and he gives me the male perspective, which is always helpful. And then, you know, just getting more healthy people that are coming into my world as I continue to heal. It's inviting them in. And, you know, setting up better boundaries to stop letting the bad people in, or when the bad people do get in, don't let them stay as long as I previously would. My guy best friend gave the male perspective, and he goes, Erin, this person has disrespected you enough. Pack his shit, throw his shit out into the street, and don't let him back in your room. You paid for that room. And I was like, you're right. But because I'm a decent fucking human, I packed his things very nicely and I left them very safely with the lobby check-in. Do not play with me. Like I said, it takes a lot for me to put somebody on blast. It really takes a lot. They really have to earn it, because I don't feel like these social media platforms should be used to promote negativity. But like I said, by me opening up and sharing my story, it brought me and this other girl together. And it kind of gave us both some closure that we weren't crazy of what happened, because she was like, watching your story was everything that happened when I lived with this person. And this is somebody that, you know, other women, you know, people are going to do what they want to do, date who they want to date. I was warned about this person at the time I started dating him as well. And it's like, you have to live your life and experience your things, but people are liars. The moral of the story was too with that I took a stand for me. I did not allow him to ruin my birthday. I did not throw his shit in the street. I did not fuck with his passport. I packed it all up. And I will tell you, when I packed his shit, I was curious because he was coming for my birthday. There was no birthday gift for me in any of his stuff. Wow. I think he was just coming for himself to party, to be perfectly honest. And he was not a well-traveled individual. So, he needed somebody else to leech on. And I'm a very well-traveled person. So it's not hard for me to go somewhere.
Yeah. But you're also not easy to leech off of anymore. Right?
Yeah. And it was a proud moment to very respectfully take his things. And like, I remember the front desk clerk going, well, where's he going to sleep tonight? And I said, I don't know. I don't care. That was the end of that story of, but yeah, it was someone that had shown me similar characteristics before. And that's the journey of being aware of them and taking a stand for yourself of like,
Yeah, like I feel like on multiple levels you have to do that, like just regardless all the time. And you're in your work scene, dating scene. I feel like just being a woman, you just get taken less seriously, just like off the bat. And I'm glad you're like finding yourself and like getting your identity together and really being confident, because I feel like more people need to see that, like just on social media, on their screens, whatever. Like, okay, like here's a woman being confident, like, and she's doing what the fuck she wants to do. And she succeeded. Like, kudos, congratulations to you.
Thank you. That's one thing with my platforms of, like I said, I do hold a certain responsibility to it of like, yes, there are the pretty, sparkly, sexy pictures and all the fun stuff. But, a lot of what I talk about in my stories and my posts, if I feel motivated to share something, like I'll talk about it, because I don't want to just be an influencer of just here's my nice modeling pictures. I want to be a real human. And I've gotten messages over the years from a lot of my followers, and they're like, your story really helped me. It helped me leave a toxic relationship. It helped me because I was blaming myself for what happened. Like, I had one girl tell me that her boyfriend fucking stabbed her and she blamed herself for that. And I said, baby, nobody deserves to be stabbed. I don't care what you fucking did, and that's the thing of when you're abused very badly, and to recover from these things, there is a certain where you blame yourself.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud of that like, it's part of been my healing journey too, to like really share my life. And sometimes it's like you're being vulnerable, like I don't share everything, but I share the things that I'm comfortable with, and I share a lot, and it makes you vulnerable, but then it makes other people connect to you in a way because their stories are similar.
Yeah, and it's literally the truth. It's who you are. Like, you're a combination of everything that we've been through. I'm not gonna hide what I've been through. You're not gonna get to know me.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
I've been through some shit, so you're gonna know that. I think that's really cool. As an influencer, what's like one thing you try to really instill into like your content, or one thing that you like to get taken away from your content? A theme, a message,
I was like thinking about that a lot, because like I'll struggle with this, right? Like, if I ever deviate from one thing, like I'll see my followers drop sometimes. Like if I don't if I don't have my hair spiked for a little bit, like they're like, oh, why don't you have spiky hair? Why aren't you going to punk shows when you're traveling? And it doesn't mean that I don't love those things. It just means like I want to experience something new and different, I got questions about that a lot on my Colombia trip, and I did get invitations to punk shows, right? And I was going to go to them, and people I had met were like, hey, we're going to this tonight. Do you want to go? Like one night it was like they're like, we're going to a salsa club. You like dance salsa and get these bottles of rum, and we have a table, and and it was kind of like very like, fucking dirty dancing shit or whatever. It's like you're in this, and I was like, that sounds really fun. It sounds like something I've never experienced before. So as much as I love punk rock and would have loved to see like the Colombian punk scene, I've experienced punk rock in other countries, and there is a lot of similarities even country to country, whereas something like that was like, I've never done anything like this before. And so I struggle with that with social media, because it's like they want you to be in this box of this is what you are all the time, and it's like, well, but I'm not. Like I'm this thing, and I love punk rock, and I also love to go out clubbing. I like to go dancing. I like to put on like a nice dress,
Yeah, like you are the brand. Like I'm not gonna be in just one hashtag. Like I'll use a hashtag, but you're not gonna find me only there. And I feel like because the way like Instagram, like social media is set up, like the way the algorithms work, it's kind of like if once you start to deviate from certain roles, it's like you get consequenced for being like authentic, or you get consequence for being like multifaceted, and that's just really, unnecessary. I feel like with somebody with like your platform, if you continue to do like what you do, like it's gonna work out for you. That's just how
Yeah.
life works. It's true.
Well, and personally, from a business standpoint, how I've kind of learned to work with that from a business standpoint, because it's like, look, instead of just complaining about it, it's like, okay, well, how can we correct this? I try to find ways to still stay on brand when I'm being a little bit different. And then I also try to, like, for instance, if I know I'm going to be in Colombia for 3 weeks and I'm not going to spike my hair because I'm fucking staying in hostels and it takes 2 hours to spike my hair and I need a lot of, just like, it's a lot. And like, I'm on vacation and I want to go out for the day and not spend that much time to get ready. I'm like, okay, well, here's a bunch of spiky haired photos that I've got that I haven't posted. So let me sprinkle those in amongst my other content while I'm traveling to still, like, cause you go to somebody's page on Instagram, you look at it as a tile, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one way that I've, from a business standpoint, just tried to kind of stay true to the brand, to not have so much of a drop off of like, and like, because it used to be that, oh, I shot this content, I got to get it posted. And now I'm in a space where I'm creating so much content that I have it all backlogged. And it's more like, okay, let me go through all this content I have. Which one am I going to post today? Let me look at my Instagram tiles. What's the last thing I posted? Which one would make sense to kind of even it out?
Yeah. Yeah. I see that. That's something that we're definitely working on too. We have a lot of episodes coming into the backlog. Yeah, I like the fact that I see what I'm planning in you in the way that you already doing it. So it's really cool for me to just have this conversation.
Yeah, to have the validation to bounce the ideas of like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, she's doing it too. All right.
Yeah, all right, cool. Check. I'm gonna do that one bit later. But
Yeah.
I feel like you took over this interview. You are great at your job. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you. Well, hopefully it'll be interesting for everybody that watches, and hopefully people will take something away from it.
Where can our listeners find you? On what platforms, your handles, and anything coming out, soon?
You can watch my YouTube channel. I've got a ton of videos coming up. It's more as quickly as I can get them edited. So you can follow Erin Micklow on YouTube, at Erin_Micklow on Instagram and Twitter, Erin Micklow on TikTok, and Erin Micklow on Facebook.
All right, there it is.
Hey, this is Erin Micklow coming from the heart at On the Love Podcast.